just make sure I announce it. All right. If you are in line, I'm just going to have you quietly stay in line and kind of listen. And then we are going to go ahead and just go into it. So if I have any leaders, just follow along as well, or students that are in here. Let's go ahead and start things up here. So, who's still? There's a lot of murmurings there. Is that just that? Okay. Line people. My name is Rob. I'm the student pastor here, if we have not yet met. And so thank you guys so much for being here and joining us. We're going to run through this packet. If you have questions, here's my encouragement to you. You might have a question and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to ask that. If you have a question, there's a good chance like 2 or 3 other people have the same question. So feel free. Just raise your hand, ask something really quick. We're going to try to help out with anything that we can because we are doing a few things a little different here this year. And so I want to make sure everybody follows along with what we are doing. So thank you, first of all. This is our summer escape. This is our yearly youth camp. And so you may have heard this is a huge camp this year. And so I want to kind of explain some things really fast on like what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we do our camp. This is not the sheet that I want. Is there a different one of these back there? Will you bring that up? Because this is not the right one. It's about to explain the wrong stuff here. Hey, Colin, everybody. Colin. Just Drake is cheering for you. Thank you. All right, okay. So our camp is at 3 Trails Camp Retreat, and it is off 40 Highway and Lee Summit Road. So it is really close by. Not far away at all. And I want to make sure we understand like why we do this. We have always done off-site camps before in the years past. We've gone all the way out to Colorado. We've gone down to Arkansas. We did the Windermere thing for those of you that kind of grew up in churches when you were younger. We've been all over. The cost started getting higher and higher and higher though. So you're hitting $300, $350, $400 for camps. And for me, in my heart, like we just started seeing, we were always taking about 55, 60 kids, and it was usually the same students that were at camp. They're going to be at everything church all the time. We weren't seeing visitors come. We weren't seeing any new friends come, new faces. And also, when you do stuff that's that expensive, it gets to be really tough for families to be able to send their kids to camp. So the last far away camp we did, I had 3 of my own children in it. So I'm paying almost like over $1,000 to put my own kids at a camp. So we sat down and said, we need to do things differently. That is why we do a local camp. We'll always do everything we can to keep the costs lower because we want families to be able to be a part of this. We also want their friends, other people, to be a part of this. And so we used to average around 50 to 60 teenagers we were taking to camp. Right now, I think we are at 198 of kids just our students we're taking to camp. And so this is why we do this, because we want our kids inviting their friends to be a part of something that's going to be an incredible time. And so to take 200 kids, by the way, for a church our size, I know a lot of people, do stats and numbers. It's my job, so I keep track of all these things. This is huge. This is like 3 times the size of what we should be taking for a church our size. Our kids have done an amazing job, our students, of inviting and reaching out to other people. So thank you for allowing your students to be here and to be a part of this. It's going to be an amazing, amazing week. Our theme is God Did, and it's just going to be an opportunity just to say, hey, all of these things, like God has you. Like God's not preparing to answer your prayers. God's not thinking about doing this. God has done it. And so we're just kind of taking day by day what that looks like to say, man, God has done this already for you. God has you on his heart. And so we have a guy named Trevor coming in from Kansas. He's a youth pastor out there, and he's going to come in and be our guest speaker. It's going to be an incredible time. And so when your kids get picked up from camp on Friday, I want to encourage you. When you ask them, how was camp? We all know what they're going to say. Yeah, fine, good, okay. I need you to ask them specific questions. Give me one thing you got out of it. What is one thing the camp speaker shared? What did you learn? Ask real questions and try to carry on those conversations, because it's going to be some amazing, amazing stuff. If your student during camp at any point decided, hey, I want to know more about accepting Christ, or I would like to get baptized, that following Sunday, so that would be August, anybody know that automatically? 10th? August 10th, we will have a meeting right here after service for any of those kids. So if you get an email or something, a contact saying, hey, your kid would like to know more about baptism, there will be a meeting. That is for that student and the parent, and that'll be August 10th. Right in here afterwards. Or if they want, talk about accepting Christ or have more questions of what that means. So if you get something, that's what that is. And that means your kid asked about this, we met with them, and we want to meet with them and the family next. And so don't look at that and go, it's just a follow-up camp meeting. I don't need to go to that. Come to that. That means something really amazing took place, and we want to talk with the family. So just some extra stuff there. I'm going to run through the schedule, kind of get you guys going, make sure everybody knows what's going on and what's taking place here. And so we got a lot of fun and some really cool stuff here. So it's got the address right there. You're going to need to know that for Tuesday night check-in and drop-off that evening, and we're going to kind of hit what that's going to look like right there. All those letters in red we're going to come back to, so don't worry about that yet. We're going to come back to that. It says food items to bring to summer escape. This is a suggestion for a donation. This is not if your kid does not bring one of these things, they don't get to come to camp. These are just, if you can, it would be nice. It helps. We kind of rely on some of these things. We do everything we can to keep the cost of camp low. We already did, our church has donated a ton of food and a ton of things. All of these things help us keep the cost of camp as low as we possibly can. So if you have mid-school girls and they are coming to camp, just send them with a box of cookies or something. Thing of Oreos, something from Walmart, whatever it is. They're going to take that when they arrive. They will check in and they will take that straight to the kitchen area. They'll be instructed what to do there. If you have a high school girl, just any box of cereal, whatever, have them pick something out. Mid-school boys, any sort of bag of chips, just a big bag of chips. And then high school boys, if they can just grab some milk, bring that. And make sure that gets dropped off and not placed in their cabin. On that, if you are not able to pick up one of those things, you didn't have time, something happened, do not worry about that at all, okay? It's just if you can, that would be amazing. Also, it's cheap, don't think anything of it. If you're I'm at Aldi's, these will do, great. Aldi's chips are amazing. Whatever it is, that would be helpful. I don't care about the name brand or any of that. Just say, this would be good, pick that, bring it. But if not, totally fine as well. On the other side, and those things will be brought Tuesday night. So bring them Tuesday night. If you come beforehand and you're well, we're going to be at church between now and then, your kid can come up with that, and we'll just collect it here too. So if you don't want to deal with it that Tuesday night, we can take those things beforehand. So on the other side, there's some emergency phone numbers there. If you have questions or anything, you can call the church first if it's just about basic questions. If you have an emergency that needs to be handled with your student, something comes up with your family, whatever it is, those are our cell phone numbers. I'll just let you guys know, please, if you know some of the leaders, you can get one of their phone numbers as well. If it's an emergency, you can call those. We try to do our best to keep track of those and get back a hold of people. So those are the big things. There's my number, Andrew's number. If you know who your leader is, you can give them, find out and exchange numbers too if you think something may come up. What to pack? Bring a Bible, a pen. You might want to, well, they'll get notebooks when they get there. Changes of clothes, they just need t-shirts, shorts, tennis shoes. They do need some sort of shoe to be active in, and that's not just Crocs. Like, they need a pair of tennis shoes to be active in. Everybody's going to need something. And then they have just whatever. I mean, it's a very laid-back place. So they need active clothes, regular clothes, something to sleep in, and then, whatever you want to do with dirty clothes. Linens, they will have a bed. Colin, will you just put a picture of one of the bunk areas there? So if you've never been to the camp, they will all have a bunk bed. So they just need linen, sleeping bag, pillow, whatever it is. That's what their rooms are going to kind of look like for most of them. Some of the older kids, their rooms are going to look a little differently. But everybody just gets a mattress, so they need something for that. Whatever you want to bring with them for that, that's up to you guys. Swimwear. We do ask girls, just bring a one-piece. And if not, t-shirt, whatever. I don't really like to go over all that stuff. I have 3 daughters. I understand. We're not just wear a swimsuit. I don't care. Guys, just wear, whatever. Hygiene. Does that make sense? I hate going over because I'm not like, girls, this swimsuit is sinful. This swimsuit, there's nothing in Scripture about that. What we do want is just like, hey, please be smart. You're at a church camp. Yeah, I don't even like saying modest because I don't want to there's not a judgment thing here. You're all parents. You know what your kids are going to play. They're going to be active in a pool. Just wear something, please. Okay. It's tough. I understand that. But the one piece, though, is the camp rules. They do ask, wear a one piece. If you don't want to go buy a new one, though, it's fine. Just wear a T-shirt. I hate hitting down on that rule because we're not trying to say, this is this, this is this. It's just, please, just be smart, and we're not going to make a big deal about it. Hygiene stuff, they need to bring all their own stuff. Deodorant, toothbrush, make sure, especially if you got, mid-school kids, make sure they pack stuff. If they're like, I got it, I packed it. They probably didn't. Just help them make sure with that. And then snacks, you can send so the donated items will go to the kitchen. If you want, you can send your own kid with whatever snacks they want to get. Don't send them with energy drinks and a bunch of Mountain Dew and caffeine stuff, but cookies, Gatorades, anything else. They'll take all that stuff to their room and they will keep it in there. So whatever you want to send them with, that's totally up to you. Totally fine. They don't need extra money. We don't have a concession stand or anything there. They don't pay for any extra food there, but whatever they want to bring, awesome. Theme nights. We do have theme nights, and so they need to know what to bring on those nights. Our Tuesday night, we use the kids ministry, the big foam thing if you're a breakaway, and we just do a big fun dance country thing. It's just a bunch of silliness, but we just call it our all-American thing, and so kids will just wear whatever red, white, and blue stuff, patriotic stuff they have. It's just a funny thing to do. Wednesday night, we do an outdoor game this year. It's going to be a little bit different, but they still need to wear camouflage, dark clothes, active clothes, whatever hunting gear they may have, wear that. And then Thursday night is our late night pool party luau. So they can wear Hawaiian shirts, luau stuff. These are just extra things you may want to send them to pack in because they're going to dress like that stuff when they go to those evening services and then throughout the night. So it's just some extra fun stuff that we do. Check-in. Well, let me hit on, so when we're talking about stuff to bring, if you got a medical card, if your student has any sort of medication that's not just an inhaler or Tylenol or ibuprofen, other than that, if it's medication, you need to have this card. You need to have the medication and just enough for those few days that they're there. It needs to be labeled and here's when they take it, here's when it is. And this and their medication will be placed in a Ziploc bag. And if any of our nurses are here and I'm saying this incorrect, let me know. Is Stephanie or Dustin here? Dustin's back there. Is Stephanie in here? McDaniel? Okay. So we have 2 nurses that'll be our camp nurses. And so Dustin will be one of those, and then Stephanie will be another one. They will end up taking this. If I say this incorrect over there, Anna or Stephanie, somebody let me know. They're taking these bags when they get here, and they are checking and giving them to their leader. Okay. And that'll be in the camp, like when they go into the cabin, leaders will be standing there. They'll give it to their leader. Their leader will end up giving it to the camp nurses. And then the camp nurses will help make sure they get it from there. Some of it will go back to the leader if it's just nighttime medication and it'll be in their cabin. Some of them will be with them, but they will be responsible with it. What I need you to do, though, is make sure it is in a baggie, labeled with directions so that we are clear on it with this medication stuff there. So that is as far as like things to bring, what you're going to need. Schedule there. I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. I'm just kind of letting you know, like, you can look at that schedule, see what things look like. It is packed full of things to do. This camp has laser tag, high ropes course, like a wall to climb and a big zip line thing that they do. There's tons of like hangout spots, swimming pool. Every day we have some sort of sports tournament or fun tournament taking place or going on. All sorts of fun stuff, and then late night fun. And then, by 11:30, they're heading back to their cabins. They are exhausted and dead. Somehow still find a way to stay up till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., but, it's a good time. So all of that stuff's there. I'm not going to go through every day there because we don't need to worry about that. Make sure, thank you. Have them eat before Tuesday night. Before they arrive, they need to have dinner. We will have like some snack stuff that night, but it's just like little garbage things we're going to feed them when they're out at the foam party thing. So they need to eat a real meal before they get dropped off on Tuesday night. And I'm going to come back and do the check-in here in a second. So that's kind of like the schedule for everything. I'm going to talk about drop-off, time away, and pickup. And then Stephanie, do you want to grab a mic? Because I feel like I'm going to say something wrong. So just listen, and if I say it wrong, let me know. So we tried something different last year, and it was amazing. Oh, does anybody need a time away card, by the way? If you did not get one of these and you need a time away card, if you have a kid leaving, okay. So drop off on Tuesday night. If you'll notice there, it says... And I don't really know, we shouldn't really have a whole lot of late registration because honestly, there's not really a whole lot of room left for anybody. But check in 6 p.m. Please do not show up at 5:30. Do not let this be the time you come early to anything. I know you want to get rid of your kids. And you're like, when can I be there? Don't do that, all right? Wait till 6 p.m. You're driving in. When you get to the Three Trails Camp, you're going to pull in. It's a one-way area. You're going to come in. There'll be leaders out there directing you. You will pull up. There will be some people up top. They will have an app. They're going to walk up to your car just like Chick-fil-A, and they're going to say, all right, Mr. Flowers, who do we got? He's going to give me their kid's name. A leader's going to check them in through the registration, and then they're going to tell you, follow the car that direction. And you will go there, and then more leaders will give you instructions from there on how to get out, who's getting out. Parents, you are not getting out of your vehicle. You're not getting out. You're not going in and making your kid's bed. You're not checking. No, you laugh, but some of you are like, that was me. You're not doing that anymore, okay? They can figure it out. So you got to stay in that car because there's going to be it's a one-way road, and you cannot be getting in and out. They're going to make sure your kid gets out with their stuff, and they're going to show them where their cabin is at. They're going to get checked in, and they're going to have an amazing, amazing time, and you're going to follow that one way out until it takes you out of there. They'll be directing traffic up top. It may form into two lines, and we will just be, going with you. But there will be leaders up there directing you in and out, and so that's going to be super easy. Checking out on Friday. Yes, I see. I knew. Yes.
Okay. So we did add one step, and it's the yellow sheet. So if you didn't do a yellow sheet with your last name, first initial of your student, so if you have more than one, it would be like, for instance, Rains Hudson. If she had another kid in the youth group, it would be Rains F, because that's her other student. That's hopefully going to allow you guys to go through the check-in, getting in and out quicker. So put this in your dash, just like you did at elementary school, and then we can just say, oh, look, Rains is here, and we can check them off. If you don't have that, then we will be like Chick-fil-A and approach your vehicle, and it will be our pleasure. So, thank you. They are closed today, though. Yeah. Then that's different. The students that are driving. So on your map, I think it's like the second to last page. If you have a student driver, it's going to be by Booth and Oak on the right-hand side. That's where we had, yep, there we go. Okay, so where am I at? Booth and Oak. Right here. Yeah. The big, that where he's pointing is where the student drivers will park, if that makes sense. No, because then you would just say, like, she would say, hey, I'm here, and we would just say, go all the way around, and then she'd park in that parking spot. Does that help? Any questions on check-in, check-out on that piece? So arriving late, you would just come in. The gates should be open. We will have at the Kansas room, which is kind of where we do all of our worship and our main larger activities. They would check in there. Anna Rains would either be there. Anna, can you just wave? Anna's going to be our point person for always being available to those that need to either leave camp or come in late. And so the student will check in with her. We've got app access for the 3 admin, if you want to call us ladies, to check in that student at that time. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect.
You might want to stay. I don't know. So if you are coming late or if you are doing a time away card, so if they're late, do they need a time away? No. But when you check in, there's that red font that's on the front page. If they're arriving late, you need to call that number so that Anna can greet you guys, make sure you know what you're doing, and can check you in. So you have to use that. If you are doing a time away form, this is where we want to make sure, if you see that, if your kid has to go to practice, has something big that they have to get at, I am going to say, please, if your kid's in a sport or something and it's like, okay, if there's any way they don't have to leave, I'm going to encourage you to make an exception this time. I know that there's some things you just can't get away from that they have to be at, but if they can be there, let this be an exception. If they can miss one practice, if they can miss something, because it does throw things off for them. We're local, we keep it that way so that we can do this, but if they don't absolutely have to be there, just let them know, hey, this week you're not going. But if they do have to, you need to fill out one of these time away cards. They're going to bring that with them, give that to their leader, correct? And then they are going to take care of it from there. But when you come to pick them up, if you see on that phone, on that little thing there, you're going to call Anna, call that phone number, that 505 number. You're going to call them, say, I'm here to pick up so-and-so. You're going to park. If you notice on your map, there's that big, giant parking lot up top. You're just going to park right there. You don't need to get out of your car. You're going to wait there, and then Anna will find your leader, your kid, and she'll bring them up to you, or she'll tell them where to go, and they will find you there. When you come back to check in, you're going to call Anna again and say, hey, I'm here. I have Everett with me in the car. I'm dropping Everett off, and Anna will know, and then Anna can check Everett back in so that we know what kids are coming and going, and we have one person kind of in charge of all that. Exactly what you would do if it was a school. So we're doing that. So that is kind of how our check-in. They can only be from a parent that was approved on the registration. So if you send, Uncle John to come pick up your kid, and he's like, I'm here to pick up so-and-so, and we're like, hey, you're not on here, we will not let them go. And that includes any parent. If you have a blended family and you send somebody and they're not on there, we won't let them pick up. And I don't care if that's my biological mom or my biological dad. If they're not on that form, we will not let them take that kid. And so you need to, as families, make sure you have everybody that's approved to do that pickup that was on that registration. And we do that because we have to be careful, because not everybody's family situation is the same. And so we will not let them go with someone that is not approved, that you did not approve for that. Does that make sense? Okay. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
The thing is, there will be a sign here, so if you happen to lose the packet that you picked up today, that's okay. There will be a sign with that same information at that parking lot that will tell you Anna's number and that you can call that number.
Yeah. Or just take a photo of that right now if you know you're doing that. That way you don't forget later. So, and then pick up on Friday. Don't leave, because I know I'm going to say this wrong. When they come Friday, same thing. You're going to drive. It's a one-way street. When they come in, a leader will be there to greet you. They're going to walkie-talkie to the other people. All the kids will be right up here in this area, right? Oh, no, we moved them. That's right. See? They're going to actually...
Okay, so, well, thank you for your patience, because last year we changed it. It's supposed to be easier, more convenient for you. It still doesn't all go perfect. So one, thank you for leading with grace. But two, we're also changing again this year because the fact that we had to change the location of our worship, which is now being held in the gym. And so we can't do pickup where we did it last year. So we're trying this year, hopefully, if it's not raining, we're going to be in the recreation area. That's going to be the tennis courts. As soon as you come into the campus, you'll see it right there. You're going to have somebody greet you, as he said. They're going to have you directed all the way around. And then our idea, and we hope that this works, so just leave with patience and grace, is that you're going to park. It's going to be on this outskirt going out of the campus. There will be cones, and we're hoping to have your students put into number lines with your cone number. Stay at your cone. Your student will come to the car. They'll have to have all of their belongings with them. Hopefully we'll have older students and available leaders help them to their car if they've got way too much that they can't do on their own. But that's where you would do the checkout, and then you will leave the campus from there. Yes? Oh, sure. Yeah. So this big P where you do any time away from there, it's going to be right to the left of that. So coming out. So you see where Booth and Oak are, that parking spot. It's going to be, it looks further away than it really is. This road is right off of that. So that's where you're going to be for the checkout. Yeah, follow the line of the cars. That's the biggest thing. Any other questions? No.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when you get there, there'll be leaders, and they're going to say, hey, get the name, gotcha, and there's only one road, and you'll figure it out. So if you forget, it's no big deal. There'll be people right there. They're going to tell you what to do. And we're trying to do this just to make it as easy as possible. I know if you got like upperclassmen, you're like, man, I used to just show up and kids would run around and get in the car. We're growing, and it's huge. And so we're just trying to make it as easy as possible and make it just safe as possible as well for you guys. So that's check-in, check-out, time away, medication. I think we've covered all that. I'm not going to go through all these camp rules. We will go through these with your students. I will just tell you, if the big things, if your kid's getting caught, like if some giant fight, something dumb takes place, you will get a phone call. If we feel like, hey, this was completely unnecessary, they'll be asked to leave. You'll come pick up your kid. If a guy tries to go into a girl's room or a girl goes into a guy's room, you're going to get called. They get picked up. I don't even care if it's like, and we make sure our kids make sure they understand this. Like, I don't care if you just put a toe in the opposite person's room, you're going to get sent home. We do not mess around with that stuff. We don't make a joke about it. And if they try to like sneak out at night, they get sent home. And so if you get a phone call at 1 a.m., you got to come pick up your kid at 1 a.m. And we rarely have had to do stuff like that, but we just don't want it to be something. And so we try to be very careful with all of those things. So did you have... Yes.
Emergency medicines. If your kids have peanut allergy, bee sting allergy, if they're asthma, they need an inhaler, please send that stuff with them. For middle school kids, it will likely stay with their leader, which should be with them at all times. High school kids likely stay with them in a backpack with them at all times. If we have an issue where we need to administer an emergency medication, we will notify you. If your kiddo starts having a headache and we need to have ibuprofen or Tylenol or something like that, we will call you and ask permission to give those medications before we give any of that kind of stuff. So if it's something that your kiddo takes on a daily basis, send it with, give good instructions. We will help administer those medications. But those emergency drugs, epinephrine, albuterol, rescue inhalers, please make sure you send them, give good instructions, and we will make sure that those are close by your students at all times.
If they need like Tylenol occasionally or melatonin, those kinds of things,
The big thing is phones. I want to make sure we address all of this. I know parents, you want your kids to have your phones, and we're going to allow them to have their phones there. We do tell them, like, their phones are only for absolutely necessary. If they need to call a parent, all right, I'll just keep using you guys. Everett, because I know he just can't go a day without calling his dad, and he's like, I need to call my dad. He tells his leader, hey, go for it, bud. Everett can get out his phone, call his parents real quick, talk to whoever he needs to, get off the phone, good to go. We don't care. If we see your kids on their phone all the time, though, your leader is going to say something to him, like, hey, man, put your phone up. If they see him again, hey, that's your second warning, put it up. If they see it again, all right, man, I'm collecting it. The leader will take that phone, put it in their cabin, and just like, I'll give that back to you later on, and we'll probably let you know. Like, they'll like, hey, let me text your parents, let your parents know. Your kid kept having their phone out. We collected it. It was a distraction. I know it's always tricky. I understand it's 2025. I also have been doing this long enough to know every time phones come to camp, it's a distraction. Someone takes a photo that someone else didn't want. Someone texts somebody no one else wanted. It always ends up being an issue, but I can't keep fighting saying don't bring it, because I know parents are saying I have to know that I can get a hold of my kid. I understand that. Just let your student know, hey, these are the rules. They do not go up. Like, I don't want this out. So you need to be aware. Control your kids. Shut off their screen time. You can turn off all of that stuff from there and say, hey, your screen time is done, so that they can't even be tempted to get on anything, any other apps, and say, you can call me, and that's it, but nothing else. And so I am encouraging you to please, as parents, you have the ability to control that from your phone, so that their screen times, they don't even have the option to get on Instagram or Snapchat or anything. You can shut all that stuff down. Please do that, even if it's not your normal thing. So those are all. I'm not going over all those rules or anything else with that. I just wanted to hit all of the main things. I kind of showed you a little bit. You'll see on the back that this year is a little bit different. We had to rent out every space available, so it's not a big deal. All of our mid-schools, most of our girls, all of our guys are pretty much in the same place, other than our junior and sophomore girls. They are in booth now. None of this is a big concern to you guys, so I won't go over a lot of it, but they all kind of have their own area. And then seniors, we don't have photos of Pines, but Pines, our graduates and our seniors are in all new, brand new cabin areas that we've never used before with leaders over there. So it's a phenomenal place. It's great facilities. It's going to be an awesome time. And so I won't go over everything, because I know you're hungry and your kids are hungry, and we'll try to move on. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you're like, hey, I just need to know this? Again, because if you don't, there's probably going to be 5 other people that have the same question, and you all are going to be in a line waiting to talk to me, when it could have just been a question really quick. So does anybody have anything? Yeah, hey, that's a great idea. If your kids are like, I want to take photos the whole time, give them a camera, a disposable camera, a little digital, whatever they got. Give them something. That's becoming a huge thing for camps right now. They are like buying those little cheap cameras and just giving them to kids. So give your kid a camera if they're worried about it. Other than that, it'll be fine. Pastor Joel will be doing, we're going to be posting stuff on social media every day, by the way. So if you're wanting to check it out, make sure you're following us at FSM Blue Springs on Instagram or Facebook. We'll be doing daily photos and pics throughout the day, so you can follow it on that as well. So you can be checking out everything. Questions? Anybody good? All right. Yes, ma'am. How do you what? How do you know who your kid's leader is? You don't yet, because I keep moving leaders around. Because one group that had 8 kids now has 20 kids. So we're moving people around. I think when you get there, if you're like, hey, who's my kid's leader, you could probably ask, and they'll tell you there. I have them lined up right now, but it can change. So I don't like giving away. Yeah, with leaders, everybody in there. Let me give 2 things really fast. Why did I just put gum in my mouth? Sorry, that's disgusting. I don't know why I just put gum in my mouth. You want to chew that for later? Let me say really fast, and then we'll get out of here. All of our leaders go through background checks. 99% of all our leaders are church members. We have one college kid that's a part of a different, that's in town, but he's done stuff with us. He goes through background check. Everybody goes through background checks. One thing that's really cool about this place, and some of these photos don't even show, is like all the showers now have lockable stalls. So kids, Booth, Railton, Brangle, and they all have those showers, but now they've added on locking like doors, like stall doors. They do this because Three Trails Camp is an accredited youth juvenile camp. And to go through national accreditation, they have to go through a lot of things that say, like our leaders, if you notice in those maps or those pictures of the things, the rooms, leaders have their own room. Leaders do not sleep in the rooms with the kids. They have their own bunk, their own showers, their own everything. They have a door that joins to each side so they can, keep everybody under control, keep kids safe, but they have their own place. Kids all have now lockable shower doors, lockable bathroom doors, everything. This camp goes out of its way because it's hard to keep that accreditation as a national certified camp for juveniles. They do that, and we love them for that because we take this very serious. I've been doing student ministry for a long time. I read the news every day. We have a disgusting and sick world, and I take it very serious. Our leaders know there is never one-on-one between a leader and a kid that is not within visible sight of somebody. You always are within view of another adult or somebody you're around. If we have a leader that goes off one-on-one with the kid, that leader will be sent home, and they will never be allowed to do anything in student ministry again. Our leaders know this. Majority of our leaders are parents. We take it very serious because I also know all it takes is even a view or a opinion that something happened, and it'll ruin an entire ministry and church. We will not allow that to ever take place. When your kids come, if you have family or visitors that are like, I don't know, I don't like to do sleepovers, I don't do this. I want our church members to go, our student ministry does not mess around with stuff like that, and we do not. As a father, as a pastor, we do not mess around with that, and our leaders know we go through they know the rules too. So I just want you to know we do everything we can to make sure your kids, every group has 2 to 3 adult leaders. There's no one-on-one. There's never going to be a time where that takes place. Our leaders know that. So I just say this, I get frustrated because I hate seeing this stuff and how it destroys churches and ministries because some idiot was just dumb. And so that will not happen, and we will do everything we can to always make sure your kids are safe and taken care of. And that is one reason why we do always go to Three Trails, because they go through everything to make sure that their camp is always above the board as well. So please know that when you're talking to people, and even as a parent yourself, it's like, oh, this is the first overnight thing my kid's ever going to go to. We take it very serious, and that's just not something we mess around with. And that's, by the way, anytime we do stuff student ministry. If they're going out with their leaders, if they're at another person's house, there is always multiple leaders there. They're never alone, ever with any adult, and no adult is ever alone with the kid, ever. So just know that's really important to us when we do these camps and retreats and stuff. So, sorry, I didn't mean to I almost get angry, and I just hate it. I hate it. It's just so frustrating. So I'm going to pray. If you have questions, I'll be here. You can come talk and just ask away. If anything throughout the week, let me know. So let's go and pray, and then we'll get everybody out of here. God, I thank you so much for our parents, our families. God, 200 kids. Lord, it's huge. To see what took place at Breakaway, to see follow up with student ministry, just what you're doing in the lives of our families in this church is incredible. And to see students reaching out and inviting other friends to be a part of something, to know who Christ is. God, we're so grateful for opportunities like this, to be able to minister alongside parents and families and just pointing young people towards Jesus. And God, that's all we want to do. And so we're grateful for just a few days to just get away from things, get away from distractions, and just enjoy and have fun and worship and teaching your word, God. And so we're just so thankful for opportunities to do this. So in your name, amen. All right. Thank you, guys. If you have questions, we'll be around. We're still here. Yeah, if you have time away cards, you can go ahead and turn that in. Go ahead and turn those in right now. Come on out. We just don't have the space for parents because a lot of times we'll have like 20 parents show up. No, you're a part. Like you're with us.